Today, I'm having my girlfriends come over and I'm going to barbecue for them. As my backyard is commencing renovations, we won't be eating outside, but it's okay because I will bring the outdoor vibe right inside. And I decided to make it chic and elegant. And with the delicious barbecue I'm about to prepare, we won't even notice we're not outdoors. If you want to see more videos like this, please like and subscribe.
If you've wanted to have your friends over or you want to have your family over, whatever it is, and you get anxious and nervous about cooking or barbecuing or preparing because you're anxious and you're worried if it's going to turn out okay, do not worry. I'm going to show you all the little tricks. And the first advice I have for you is to plan ahead and do things ahead of time.
Prepare your menu. Decide what you want to make for your guests. And if possible, do your shopping 2 days before your gathering so you can use the next day for marination and preparation. Prepare as much as possible. Make your dessert, appetizers, and salads. Trust me, this will ease your stress and facilitate things for you.
And for my barbecue tomorrow, I'm gonna have some meat, some fish, some shrimp, some vegetables, and I want to provide a variety. So I'm on my way to the grocery store and I will bring you with me so we can pick out all my items for my barbecue tomorrow. Okay, so I'm here at the grocery store and got my shopping cart. And here we go. And I'm gonna get started with my meats. And here are the back ribs. So I like back ribs. I mean, you can always go with the side ones, but I prefer the back ones. They're leaner, a little less meat, and more flavor, I find. So I'm gonna pick myself this one. This one looks perfect. Okay, and here I have the chicken wings, and you can either get them split like this or you can get them whole. So I'm gonna get these ones. And guys, you guys have to try these. These are so good. So my son loves them, and I've actually had them before in my barbecues, and everybody loves these sausage. They're the classic cheddar, and there's cheese inside, and they're just so flavorful. So I'm just gonna get one pack of those. Okay, so now I'm off to the fish section, and one of my friends is vegetarian, so I'm gonna buy some fish, and she likes salmon. And salmon is actually in season right now, so I'm looking for the wild one. I know this one is the farmed one, so I want the wild. And there it is. So that's the wild one, and look at the difference in color. How nice and red it is compared to the other ones. So this is the socky salmon. Right now it's June, so it's in season, and I'm gonna buy myself one of those nice pieces. Thank you so much. And these zucchinis look wonderful, so I'm gonna put myself some of these on the grill, and they are gonna be delicious. And guys, these portobello mushrooms are amazing on the barbecue. So I'm gonna take myself a couple of those, more than a couple. I'm gonna make some baked potato tomorrow. So I'm gonna take these baby potatoes. They're not too big, not too small, so I think they're perfect. Okay guys, so I'm back from the grocery store, and now I laid out all of the things that I can prepare today, that I can marinate today for tomorrow. So I'm gonna get started with my wings because there's a little more preparation involved in the wings. So I like to start with the hardest thing first. So I'm very particular and picky with chicken. So I like to wash my wings or put them in water, add some lemon or some red wine vinegar, rinse them twice, pat them to dry, and then I like to clean them up and then I marinate them. So let's get started. Okay, so the first thing I'm gonna do is I'm gonna need my knife to be nice and sharp. So whatever sharpener you have, you can use. so the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to clean up my chicken wings. And if you're uncomfortable and you don't like touching chicken, you can always wear a pair of gloves, and that will make it easier for you. So the first thing I'm going to do, so when you're looking at your wings, make sure that your wings are nice and white and they're not heavily bloody or bruised. So as you can see, this is a really nice chicken wing. It's nice and white. Now, I don't like to eat this part of the wing, so I normally just chop it off, just like this, okay? It's just fat anyways. And then this end piece over here, this is where sometimes you'll see little feathers. So normally I go with my scissors. I use my scissors and I just trim it off, just like that. And this way they're nice and clean. Let's clean them all up. Chicken. So I'm going to use about a 1/4 cup of sunflower oil, or you can use vegetable oil. So we need the oil to bind the ingredients together and so that the chicken doesn't stick to the grill. Okay, so now I'm going to use some onion powder, and I'm going to use 1 teaspoon of onion powder, 1 teaspoon of garlic powder, a 1/4 teaspoon of cayenne pepper for a little bit of heat, but not too much. And then I'm going to use a teaspoon of Dijon mustard, 1 teaspoon of rosemary. Now I'm going to give it a good mix. I'm going to use some black pepper. I'm going to use a little bit of lemon, just for some freshness. And we're going to give it one final mix here. And we're going to add it to the chicken. Now we're going to give them a good mix. Now, you notice how I didn't add my salt because I always add the salt directly on my meat. That's how I can tell if I have enough or not. So I'm now going to add my salt. So I normally just take and sprinkle it on top, just like that. And then I'll give it a good stir. And then I go and add a little bit more. Okay, and that's how I can tell. Like that. Okay, so now, look at that. Okay, so now I'm moving on to my ribs. So I'm gonna cook my ribs on slow heat for 2 hours tomorrow on the barbecue. So I'm gonna make a dry rub for them because after they're cooked, I'm going to coat them with a nice, beautiful sauce. So the first thing I'm going to do, I'm just gonna add a little bit of oil on top, just so that when I add my seasoning, it will stick nicely to the ribs, just like that. Now I'm gonna add my salt. I'm gonna add my garlic powder. And you make sure that you coat every little piece of that meat, that you don't miss any spots. This way, you'll have flavor no matter where you bite. Now some garlic onion. And I'm gonna use some smoked paprika. Gonna use some black pepper. Some regular paprika. Okay, and now we're gonna turn it to the other side.
And now I'm moving on to my salmon. I will be cutting my salmon into smaller portions. As I will be preparing a barbecue charcuterie board tomorrow, I want to provide smaller pieces of each item so my guests can try
Now it's a
everything.
lot easier to just go with your scissors and cut the skin off. Okay, there we go.
It's also easier to cut the salmon when it's raw than after it's cooked because it might flake off.
So for my salmon, I'm gonna use a honey and balsamic vinegar sauce. Okay, so I'm gonna use a couple of tablespoons of oil. I like to coat the fish so it doesn't stick on the grill. Okay, so now I'm going to add 1 teaspoon of Dijon mustard, 1 tablespoon of honey, 1 tablespoon of balsamic vinegar. I'm gonna sprinkle some lemon, about a tablespoon of lemon, some black pepper, a little bit of chili flakes, not too much, just a little bit. And now we're gonna give it a stir. Now I'm gonna add a little bit of garlic powder. And I like to use garlic powder instead of fresh garlic only because it burns on the grill. Okay, so we're all ready. And now we're gonna pour this sauce on top of our salmon. Okay? And now I'm going to add my salt. Just so I can control how much I'm putting. Just enough for each piece.
And now I'm going to prepare my shrimp. I'm going to rinse it with cold water, pat it to dry, and marinate it.
My shrimp is all ready to marinate, and I'm gonna keep this one simple as well because when they're done grilling, I'm gonna make an amazing butter and garlic sauce to brush on top, and that's what's gonna give them that beautiful flavor. So before I marinate the shrimp, I'm gonna remove a little bit of the shell, just about a half, and leave the other half because it looks pretty, but I want some of the marinade to go inside the actual shrimp. And so this is pretty easy to do because they already have a bit of a cut there. So we just go around just like that. And we leave the rest like this. So I'm gonna do that for all of them. Okay, so we're ready. We're gonna add some salt, some black pepper, I'm gonna add some garlic powder, some cayenne pepper, just a tad, for a little bit of heat, and some paprika. I'm gonna add a little bit of oil. I'm gonna add a little bit of lemon. And now I'm gonna add a little bit of parsley on top. And guys, look at that. My wings, my ribs, my shrimp, my salmon, it's all ready to go in the fridge.
And now I'm off to my yummy dessert. Now I'm off to my salad, and I will be making a Greek style salad. And as my lettuce is always pre-washed, it won't take me long to prepare.
morning, everyone, and welcome back. And today is Friday morning, and it is the day that I'm having my girlfriends come over, and I am completely stress-free because yesterday I did so much of the preparation. So today, all I have to do is I'm going to marinate my mushrooms and my zucchinis, and we're gonna set the table. We're gonna take out our meats ahead of time because we don't want to take our meats from the fridge directly into the barbecue. We want to rest them at room temperature for a couple of hours, and then we're ready to do our barbecue.
Clean your mushrooms with a damp paper towel to remove any excess dirt and do not wash them as they will become mushy.
Okay, and now for the zucchini, we're just gonna chop off the end. And today I'm gonna cut them on an angle because I think they look pretty on an angle. Make the slices too thin. Prepare my baked potatoes. So I bought these at the grocery store, and I know they're pre-washed and ready to go on your barbecue or in your oven, but I always like to unwrap them and take a look at the potato, make sure that it's clean, that there are no spots on it or any rotten pieces. And sure enough, when I was opening this one, there were some pieces that were a bit rotten, so I'm gonna have to cut those out. When I bring you a little closer, it's like there's a little bit of a fungus or a rotten spot there. So I'm gonna cut that off. So obviously we don't want that in there. Okay, and so the rest is perfect. Okay, so I'm gonna unwrap them all and make sure that they're all perfect. You see that? So I don't want that in there, right? So I just cut it off and we're good. Okay. You see that? So make sure that if you do get your baked potatoes at the grocery store and you bring them home, don't just trust that they're perfect and, you know, and then when we cut them in the middle and open them up, it's gonna be fine, right? So you wanna make sure you remove any pieces that are no good. Okay, this one seems to be. Now, even though they say they're pre-washed, I always like to wipe them down at home. Okay guys, so as you can see, I've created a little assembly line here, and I've got my foil because the other one I had to throw away, it was all ripped up, and I have enough to make sure that I can wrap the whole potato.
And now I'm going to season my potatoes. I'm going to drizzle some olive oil. I'm going to sprinkle some sea salt, some pepper, and wrap them up. And now I'm going to set my table. Okay, I'm off to my ribs and I'm going to wrap these securely in foil and cook them on the barbecue for 2 hours. I will be cooking my ribs the first hour on low direct heat and the second hour on indirect heat. While my ribs are cooking on the barbecue, I have made an amazing olive paste as an entree. So I'm going to get that ready for my guests. I've moved my ribs over and I will be cooking them on indirect heat so I can free up my space to cook my sausage. I'm going to turn up the heat for the sausages and give my ribs indirect heat. I have about an hour and a half until my guests arrive, so I'm going to put my baked potatoes in the oven so it can free up my space and my barbecue.
Okay, so we're going to take a look at the ribs now, and we're going to see how they look. All right, and look it. So now, I'm just going to take them and place them on the grill for a little bit. Okay, look at that. Now let's look at this one. Okay. And that one is just perfect, so we don't need to put that one back there. We're going to keep that one on top. And we're just going to get a little bit more color here on the side. Let's turn it over and see how it's doing on that side. Okay, that's perfect. We got to be gentle with them because they're very tender. So we're just going to leave it there for a few moments and they're almost ready. Okay, perfect.
I got about an hour and 50 minutes to go and I need to get my wings on the grill. Wings can take some time to cook and they can be a bit challenging to cook as well. So I'm going to get these ready before my guests arrive. I'm going to cook my wings on low to medium heat. As wings will release some fat onto the grill, the drippings will create some flame, and we don't want to burn or blacken our wings. Instead, we want to attain a perfect color and crispiness. But when we want to close the lid so our wings will get evenly cooked, we do not want to leave them unattended, or at least not for too long. They will flame and get blackened, so stay close and keep an eye on them. But when I do need to step away, I prefer to leave my barbecue lid partially open to reduce the chances of creating flame. As with most barbecues, they will release more heat in some areas than others, and some wings will cook faster than others. So we'll simply move them around until they are all equally cooked.
Okay, so this is a perfect wing. It's almost done. We don't want to overcook them. We just want them not to be burned, but to be crispy just like this. This is what we're looking for. Beautiful crispiness. And we're going to have to take some out when they're done and let the other ones cook. How's this one doing? Perfect. Beautiful. Look at that. They're done.
I'm going to place my wings in the warmer uncovered so it can maintain its crispiness. Now I will be making a sauce for my salmon and my shrimp with butter, lemon, and garlic. Salmon doesn't take long to cook at all, and because my pieces are quite small, it will cook even faster. So I'll give it about 5 to 7 minutes. I transferred my salmon over from the foil to the grill just to get those beautiful char marks, and it's all done. Now I'm going to add my butter and garlic sauce for some extra flavor. And last but not least, I'm placing my shrimp on the grill. And that's the last of my barbecuing for today. My shrimp won't take more than 5 minutes to cook. I just want to give it a nice crispiness, but not overcook them. I'm brushing my shrimp with butter and garlic sauce, and they're going to taste amazing. My friends will be arriving shortly, so I will be wrapping it up by preparing my baked potatoes. My cookie is all done, and now it's time to assemble, beautify, and serve.
That's right.
Well, my friends have finally arrived, and I'm all ready for them.
Thank you so much. Oh, flowers. Thank you. Hi, Jacqueline.
Hi, how are
you?
you?
I made this homemade olive paste. Okay.
It's exquisite.
Put that there.
And while my friends are eating the olive paste as an appetizer, I will be assembling my board, and we will be eating in just a few moments.
Oh, look at that. Wow. That looks so good. Wow. Amazing. Wow.
That's absolutely stunning.
Stunning.
Those look like salmon bites.
Cheers. Cheers.
Looks
Well,
so good.
there's nothing more gratifying than sharing your cooking passion with the people you love. And by the looks of my board, everyone enjoyed it, and that's all I could ask for.
It's not like I'm letting you go it alone. It's like you, okay. Somebody's very. Like we're in the.
She's just like.
Did you make this? I did.
I don't know what it is, but I want to try it. It looks good.
And what would a gathering be without a little boomerang to post on Instagram? And that's it, everyone. Well, I hope you got some good tips and ideas for your next barbecue gathering.
Perfect.
And if you've enjoyed this video, please give me a thumbs up and subscribe, and I will see you next time. If you want to see more videos like this, please like and subscribe.